Alright, so this might be a really long video, so you better get comfortable. As you can see in the description of the video, I'm going to be talking about things that people should know before coming to Australia, just like a general basis and information. I'm not a professional, this is mostly from my experience and for the things I know. So if you want to know more information about it, you can always search it up on Google or just go into your travel agencies or even with the government page. So let's start. Okay, now let's start talking with something that people really like, visa process and requirements. You can get the best visa for you. It all depends on your circumstances. Now, for me, in my case, and I think for most South American people here in Australia, we usually choose the student visa. In my case, I was not too sure how I wanted to follow my path in Australia, if I wanted to stay here or if I wanted just to go there, study, experience the country and go back. So that's why I had my first visa was a student visa for English, which is also really, it was also really good for me because I really needed to practice my English, and that visa was actually really good for that. Now you can also get working holiday visa. That's only valid for some countries. For example, in Colombia, we don't have the working holiday. So that's why the student visa is one of the only ones we can get. You can get the tourist visa, you can get the work visa, maybe PR. It just depends on your circumstances. If you have already really good English, if you have a really nice career, you can apply for a work visa here, like a sponsor visa, and you might get it. Now, if your English is not really good, then you can apply for a student visa first and then see whether you want to stay or not. Now, every visa has different requirements and processing times that you can always check it on the government pages. You can find all the information there. If you already have a travel agency, you can ask them, but I would recommend if you as well do your own research. All right, cost of living, the favorite topic of Australian people, just to say that we are the problem of the high rent. Maybe. Anyway, cost of living, rent, groceries, transport, and healthcare. Now, rent, it's not impossible, but it is a little bit difficult to find a good price for rent here in Australia at the moment. It also depends a lot of where exactly on Australia you are. Here in Brisbane is not impossible, but the far from the city you are, the better. It's also really good if you can share a house with friends or just random people, that it will help you a lot to get a little bit better price on the rent. Transport in Brisbane right now is really nice because it's only 50 cents. I'm not too sure how is the pricing for the transport in other cities, but in Brisbane right now it's 50 cents, which is really good. So you can actually save money in transport here. Groceries, it all depends on where you shop. I will say that the price is really average. Like, it's not super expensive, but it's not cheap either. I would recommend you to go to Aldi if you're going to do shopping, just because I think that you can find really good basic stuff there for a good price, and then just go to Woolies or Coles just for the little things you couldn't find in Aldi. And the healthcare, I don't even know what I have this in this list, but usually the healthcare, you have to get it at the moment of getting a visa. It also depends on the visa you have. You can get different types of health insurance. It definitely has to meet your visa requirement, but you can choose if you want Allianz, Bupa, or any other insurance. Mine is Allianz. I would say it's pretty average. I actually don't really like it much because they don't, like the one I have, I cannot really claim for prescription medication, and sometimes for the GPs they only give me half the price, and sometimes going to a GP is almost $100. So it's like, it's not really worth it, but you can get a better one probably. Now, job market. I'm just going to give you like general advice about this topic about the job, because I want to make a video more in depth about that. Now, in general, if you're coming to Australia, it's not impossible to get a job, but it also depends a lot of your English level and maybe the experience you have. If you have a okay English level, you will be able to get a job in hospitality, retail, in a hotel, at the airport. Like, it also depends on your visa requirements and how many hours you can work. But if you have good English, you probably have more options. Now, if your English is not really good, I would say that the most common things is probably cleaning, like housekeeping, and just, yeah, cleaning in general. I had to do that at the beginning. Was not fun. So I would say that if you have to do cleaning, okay, it's fine. You have to do it. If you come here as a student, well, you know, there's a limit in the hours you can work. So you have to be aware of that. Now, if you choose to avoid that and work more hours and get paid in cash or ABN or whatever, you need to be aware that that's illegal. You can be deported back to your country because of that. Your decision, but just be aware of that. I know that a lot of people say, especially in South American countries, come to Australia because it's super good and you're going to work a lot and get a lot of money. If you come as a student, you will work just to survive. You won't have really money to like spend like crazy. And if you decide to work more hours, then that's your responsibility and that's up to you. Now, just coming back to the housing situation, as I said, it's not impossible, but you really need to like check a lot of options. I will say the best one for international students or just people that is just coming here at the beginning, it's definitely getting a shared house. Could be with friends, random people, just whatever, but it's going to help you to save a little bit of money in the rent. If you are a student, you can also try to get place in a student accommodation. I did that at the beginning. It was actually really good. I mean, it was alright. It was not my best experience, but it was cheap at that time. Now probably it's a little bit expensive. It also depends of exactly where is the location of your student accommodation, but that could be an option if you're a student. Or what a lot of people do as well is to stay in a hostel for a few weeks or for as long as they need until they get a proper place. Now, cultural differences and social life. The first thing that I would say about the cultural differences is probably the language, of course. For me, I was really used to the American English. So hearing some people with a really strong Australian accent or using a lot of slangs that they were really new to me was super confusing and like super hard for me to understand. But the more you talk to Australian people, the more you learn about how they talked and their accents and their slangs. So I would definitely recommend just to talk to them. Even if your English is not really good, they will still are going to be really nice to you, or at least here in Queensland, in Brisbane, they're really nice people. So yeah, that may help you a lot to get your ear like ready to understand Australians. Now, one thing that is really important is Australia is a really multicultural country, which means that you're going to find people from all around the world. So I think it's really important that you not only stuck with the people from your own country, of the people who speak your same language, because then you're going to miss all the rest of diversity from other people from other parts of the world. I think one of the things that I liked the most at the beginning was meeting people from Thailand, Japan, Korea. It was just so new to me, like so different, that I was really surprised, but in a good way. So definitely you should talk with everyone, even if you have to use broken English. At the beginning, everyone uses broken English because we are all learning English. And then if you want to just to socialize a little bit more, there's a lot of communities from the same countries or just in general multicultural communities where you can go and spend time together, practice your English, or just meet new people. If you are religious, there's also like events or like small communities in the church where you can go and also spend time with them. You can still find a lot of ways to be social with a lot of people, even if you come here alone. Now, weather and geography. Now, the weather just has some seasons: summer, winter, spring, and autumn. I would say it's more summer and winter, because like the summer is crazy and winter is super crazy too. But that it doesn't matter. I think what matters here in Australia is how strong the sun is and how it can damage your skin. So I would absolutely recommend that you have to use sunscreen every day, all the time, everywhere. The sun is so strong then that I literally feel how it's burning my skin, and I never felt something like that before until I was here in Australia. Like, it's crazy how hot and strong it is. Like, definitely sunscreen. I even use umbrella sometimes when it's too hot, when it's too sunny, because I think it's just too much that I'm gonna die. And of course, as you might know already, Australia is like a big island. Like, around Australia there's only water, and it's really far from the American continent. So if you are from the US or South America, or well, anywhere in the American continent, or even in the Europe, Australia is going to be really far away from you, which means that you're going to be really far away from your family, and the communication is going to be a little bit hard as well, just because the time difference is also big, and the flights are expensive. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really found a cheap flight from Australia to Colombia. Like, it's always around $3,000 to $4,000. So now, transport system. I would say the transport system is really good compared to Colombia. I wouldn't be able to say a comment about any other countries, but in general, it's better than in Colombia. Now, the way of how the transport works, I think I really like it as well, because usually you have to use like a card, like a transport card, to get into the bus or the train or whatever. But here you can use your credit card or your debit card or your phone as well, just to tap on their machines. You can also use scooters or bikes. I think it's really nice. In general, I think Australia is really well organized in terms of how you can use your scooter or your bike around like the streets, which I think is pretty safe compared to other countries. And the good thing about Brisbane, where I live, is that the transport is 50 cents, so it's really cheap. So you can save a lot in transport if you want to use the train or the bus or the ferry. Now, finally, let's just talk about the important documents that you might have to get at the moment you arrive in Australia. Let's start with the bank account. A bank account, it takes a little bit to be open. It's a little bit of an annoying process, but you just have to go to the bank. They will do everything for you, and then you just have to wait for your card to arrive to your home address. Of course, you also have to get a SIM card, because you need to get your Australian number ready to get a job, or just in general communication. You can use any SIM card you want. I personally have Aldi just because I think the data is cheaper there than in other suppliers, but that's just me. And of course, you have to get the tax file number. That one is really important, especially at the moment of looking for a job, because there is where your taxes are going to come in. Also remember that every financial year you can claim your tax back. So that's good. Just remember to keep receipts and evidence of anything that could be related to what you spent for your job, so you can claim your tax. But that's a totally different story. We can talk about it later. Now, this is just an extra recommendation that I could give you, is if you are planning to work in hospitality where you have to serve alcoholic drinks, you definitely need the RSA. So I would really recommend that you get that one. It's a little bit annoying to do, but it will be really helpful, because then that might help you to get jobs in a bar or in a restaurant or just anywhere where sells alcohol. Alright, so that's everything for this video. I know it might be a little bit too long and some information is still not really in deep, but that's why I want to make more videos about it, because there's a lot of things to talk about but not enough time. So please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put it on the comments so I can have a look at it and answer your questions as well. And if you like the video and if you would like to watch more videos about this, please give me a like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Alright, so that's everything for this video. I hope you like it and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.